I forgot. These are the guys that did that chant.
Yep.
Oh, dude, if this chant costs them the #1 rated recruit, I'm sorry, but I would feel so good about that.
This is gonna be the best day ever. This is gonna be the best day ever.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to Ward Radio. I'm your host, Cardinal Ellis, and today I'm joined via Zoom by the Associate Professor of all things apocryphal, Jonah Barnes, who's got a heartwarming story for us today. We're talking about the church news of why Gatlin Bair, the biggest football recruit in Idaho history, is serving a Latter-day Saint mission to a controversial spot here with a little spotty history, shall we say, with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and athletics, and one with which you have personal experience, Jonah. So please take it away. Tell us what's going on. Tell us your personal experience. Jonah Barnes, go.
Well, so Gatlin Bair is this kid out of Burley, Idaho. By the way, Burley, Idaho is where my grandfather was born.
They better be good
place.
at football with a name like Burley. Like, you better be awesome.
Well, I mean,
right? You know?
this kid was crushing it. So Gatlin Bair is this young dude from Burley, Idaho, young LDS kid, awesome kid, handsome kid. He's good at school. He's 6'2". He's about 200 pounds. He's quarterback on the football team. He also runs track. He does sprints. He set the state record for the 100-meter dash.
Really?
At 10. Yeah,
the
dude's
that's
lightning.
Impressive. Okay.
Yeah, and he's on this football team. He's like the #1 recruit. He's the highest ranked recruit the state of Idaho has ever had.
Wow. Okay.
So this guy has his choice to go to any university that he wants and play for. And this is really exciting for this family.
Yeah.
Both his parents are big athletes. His whole family, he has older brothers that I think one of his older brothers is like a track star someplace else. But they also serve missions.
Okay.
And so, of course, the question comes like, dude, are you going to go, follow your dream and rush towards the NFL and jump into some university and go play there? Or are you going to go 2 years on a mission and risk it all, atrophy and like lose your skills?
Which it's not,
and go on a
like, I'll push back on that later because I think there's actually an advantage to the service and returning as a more mature individual. And this idea that a dude that's so fast that he can straight up run the 100-meter or the 100-yard or whatever that dash is in the time he has, that doesn't go away. That doesn't.
Well,
does the beautiful, I bet you Judy Garland was no less attractive as a 21-year-old than a 19-year-old, right? Oh, and I bet you Celine Dion, all of a sudden just like her vocal cords just stopped functioning after 18 months of service,
Well, but these are the type of things the devil's whispering into Gatlin's in his ear. He's saying, you're going to lose your skills. You should do it. So anyway, so he's now on the stage and people are looking at him and trying to recruit him and woo him. And he said his top choices are University of Oregon or University of Michigan. Oh. Now, Gatlin, Brother Bair, soon to be Elder Bair, let's talk, okay? Because if you got to choose between University of Oregon and University of Michigan, brother, there's no choice here. I'm from Portland, Oregon. And I can tell you, please do not come to University of Oregon.
Wait, why don't come to Oregon? What's going on? What do you got to go? I think it's a beautiful campus with that track and everything.
Well, sure. It was built by Nike, so it's the most beautiful campus on the planet. Yeah, okay, they have all that money to help with recruiting. University of Oregon is probably the second most belligerent, rude, and classless football fans in the world.
Oh, okay? Back that up.
Number one, University of Utah. Number 2 has got to be University of Oregon. Okay. The Ducks drive me crazy. I drive around and share the road with these people all the time. They're the rudest people in the world.
I do have to say, there was the quarterback when I was at BYU in 2007. It was Matt something. I don't remember his last name, but he got in a lot of trouble for calling the University of Utah a classless mob. All right. Because they were like throwing milkshakes and drinks at his wife and his mother and stuff. And then they got all bent out of shape when he said, I can't stand the University of Utah. Max Hall. That was it. Max Hall called them a classless mob and they just freaked out. It's like when you call an anti-Mormon and they're just like, no, I'm not. The classless mob got super classless and became a mob. Yeah. And so you're saying the Ducks are worse, bro?
No. Nothing beats University of Oregon for classless.
Oh, no, sorry. You're saying they're a close second.
They are tip of the top. University of Oregon. Now, Max Hall, in his defense, his wife was sitting in the bleachers, and the U of O fans poured beer on her. Okay, so I can sympathize with the guy just a little bit. Classy guys. But University of Oregon is a close second. So I actually have personal experience with this. Okay, Carden, you said I have to back this up. There's a picture in the Discord of myself and my kids when we attended the last BYU University of Oregon football game.
Okay.
Cosmo the Cougar himself showed up in my buddy's backyard and did some backflips for the kids, and it was pretty awesome.
Okay,
all excited.
Cool.
All excited to go to the Ducks game to go cheer for the Cougars.
Yeah.
And in the bleachers, we're sitting there in those bleachers, and these classy Duck fans started a chant. And I put in the Discord a little YouTube short of the chant, and you got to be careful because you're going to have to do some editing if you play this chant. Because it was just that charming, just that classy.
Okay, it says University of Oregon Ducks fans say what they think about Oh, I forgot. These are the guys that did that chant.
Yep.
Oh, dude, if this chant costs them the #1 rated recruit, I'm sorry, but I would feel so good about that. Yeah, look,
dude, I hope so, man. I hope so bad.
Okay, for people that are in the audience, you may have remembered this, a couple of years ago, or 1, 2, maybe 3 years ago, this is what the University of Oregon fans had to say about members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, a.k.a. Mormons.
The Mormons! The Mormons!
Oh.
Well.
All right. So
classy guys.
Yeah, that was.
Look, Gatlin, Elder Bear. You don't want to play in the big house? University of Michigan, come on. Would be amazing. You don't want to come out here. It rains all the time. They all hate you. No, you want to go to University of Michigan and play in the big. Look, I have zero affinity for Michigan. I don't know anything about University of Michigan. I don't even really like football that much.
My dad
okay?
served in Michigan. Great place. Cold
I think
place.
football should be spelled. FOOTBAAL. I don't like football, but not University of Oregon, man. Not the Ducks. Come on. It's got to count for something that they hate us.
Yeah. What's the mascot of the University of Michigan? The mascot, if I'm not mistaken, I do believe the mascot, is it the Badgers? It's the big M. It's the yellow M on the blue background. What's the mascot of the University of Michigan? Do you remember?
The Wolverines?
The Wolverines. Yes. It's not the Badgers. It's the Wolverines.
No,
it's not. Is it the Wolverines? I don't know. We don't follow sports well enough. You know who would know? My dad would know because he served his mission there.
It's totally the Wolverines.
Yeah, he served east of Detroit.
His name is Biff the Wolverine. Come on. Biff the Wolverine versus Donald Duck. This is a slam dunk or
Donald
a touchdown.
Duck
I don't know what
built by
Nike.
Say. You know, Donald Duck built by Nike. That's funny. So
look,
Bear. Gatlin, you're a stud. We think you're amazing. We have nothing but mad respect for your athletic achievement. In fact, we're going to put this up on the screen just one more time so that everybody can take a look at it. We have nothing but straight up mad respect for your athletic achievement, and we wish you the absolute best in your choice. However, I mean, a strongly worded letter, at least, to I don't know if I want to go to a school that literally says F my entire, faith group. That might be just a sit down you want to have with the coaching staff.
And and Elder Bear is not a fly by night Jack Mormon. This guy is devout. His whole family is quite devout. His older brothers are RMs and his parents are faithful members. And he says in this interview, I love this kid. He's not dazzled by all the lights and microphones and all the schmoozing that they do. He says, I feel like there are zero regrets to serving a mission. Obviously, my faith is very important to me. The biggest thing is the impact you have on other people's lives. The gospel you share, the service you do can really change someone's life. Listen to this kid. There's a kid saying this. He's like, I'm going to go out there, change someone's life with my missionary service. Right on, dude. You're absolutely right. He goes on and he says, as for how he sees himself in 2 years, he told the interviewer, I think I'll have a different perspective on the world and other people's lives. I think I'll be a more disciplined and more mature version of myself. Oh, Elder Bear.
Dude.
You have no idea, man. That's exactly what a mission is going to do. You're going to have that mission long after football is dead and gone. You're going to have experiences that will change your life. You're going to have a perspective on the world and a maturity that others only dream of. You're doing the right thing, Elder Bear. You're doing the right thing.
Yeah, and I'll just chime in here really quickly and say that this is such an important decision, especially for athletes. Because I have friends, I can name 4 professional athletes that I was buddies in high school with, you know, that just went on to play NFL, Major League Baseball, you name it. Actually, one of them, Major League Soccer even. It's kind of funny.
Cool.
But yeah, one of the kids on my team was actually made it to the LA Galaxy. I think he played with David Beckham for a while. But
Right
anyway,
on. Wow.
yeah, it's pretty wild. But here's the thing. This is something that happens to all athletes, whether it's like, unless they transition into being like top of the NFL guys that end up becoming actors, you know what I'm saying? All athletes reach this point because being athletic is so difficult. I mean, look at a picture of this kid. He's got like no neck. He's obviously shredded. P.S. Proudest mom shot in the planet right there.
Oh,
you know what I'm
it's
saying?
so great.
Proudest mom shot in the planet, right? But and by the way, props to the dad. Like, he's trying to be stoic and everything, but you know, inside he's like gleaming, like, those are 23 of my chromosomes, baby. You know what I'm saying? But
Right
anyway, this is something all athletes need. When the road comes to an end, whether because the season ended and you didn't have prospects to make it to the next level, or due to tragic injury, or due to just some kind of calamity, like Bauer from my high school is a professional athlete who was falsely accused of sexual assault and then had to go, he got kicked out of Major League Baseball just because they #believed all women back then. And even though he was found factually innocent and it was proven that he was falsely accused, they're not putting him back in Major League Baseball. He has to like play in Japan or something. I stopped following the story 6 months ago. I admitted I need to check up on it, you know, but whether it's due to false accusation or injury or, you know, your talent wanes or whatever, there's a moment where this thing you did your entire life that consumed your personal identity comes to an end. And these athletes, they don't know what to do with themselves. And they have no coping mechanisms. And if they get injured and they were the star athlete, but your knee gets blown out, there's a joke in the NFL. They call it the not for long. Because the average career, I think, is like 18 to 24 months. Because we all know the dudes that are quarterbacks for 20 years. And we know all the names of the superstars that were in there for 10, 11, 12 years. But everybody else below that line, it's a just puppy mill where injuries, calamities, personal issues just make it so you can't go another season or whatever. You get traded or else they don't want you. You get bumped, you get cut. Whatever the story is, it's called literally the not for long. One of my buddies made it to the NFL, and he said in their first big official meeting, the guy got up and he literally said, "Do you know why they call this the NFL?" He said, "Because it's the not for long. Over 50% of you won't be in this room literally 2 years from now." And it was like,
geez.
whoa.
That's motivating.
You know? And so you have to have another identity besides athlete, you know, and that identity of being a child of God, that identity as being a child of the covenant, that identity as being a disciple of Christ is so integral. And that's what he will be sharing with other people. And I guarantee you, except for his closest relationships amongst his friends that are athletes, no other relationships will last as long as the ones that he forges during his mission. And he will rely on those for the rest of his life. And I think he is making an extremely wise decision. And the organization that has him post-mish will have a phenomenally well-crafted soul as an athlete. And they're freaking lucky to have him, dude.
Yes, very lucky. He will be more disciplined, more mature. Look, it isn't just raw talent that you're born with. Obviously, he'll be better at training, better at listening, better at leading. He'll be better at everything. And it goes back to what Jesus Christ said in Matthew chapter 6: "Lay not up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven." That's what this kid is doing. This kid is going to go out there. He's going to have personal experiences with people. He's going to watch them change their lives. He's going to watch the gospel transform people and give them hope for the first time in their lives. And those experiences will last him forever. Now, one personal experience that I have with this, besides being at that Oregon game, is that I'm up here in Portland And my priest quorum advisor was a guy who he had the stolen base record for the NCAA baseball.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he played at BYU. He had all these records. Awesome guy. Huge athlete for baseball. He was then drafted into the Major League Baseball. And he said, great. So he didn't go on a mission. He married his sweetheart, wonderful woman, and they went off to go play. It wasn't long before he blew out his knee.
Oh, dude.
And ended his career. Now, luckily for him, he was a charming guy and he got on selling footwear for this little startup company called Nike.
Oh, savage.
Yeah, he later became the chief marketing officer for Nike. And so he was a very successful guy, and he was my priest quorum advisor when I was a young man. This guy could bear testimony like no one else could. He'd look at these priests and he'd say, don't you dare think about not going on a mission. I'd give anything to go back and redo that and reshuffle my priorities and serve a mission. I can never get that back. And this guy had everything. This guy's a very successful dude. I mean, we all admired him. And he would say, I'm so jealous of you kids because you get to go serve a mission and nothing is as good as serving a mission. Don't you make the mistake that I made. And it was like, okay, man, okay, bro, we're all going to go. You got it. So it was a powerful testimony. So that's going to be Elder Bair, man. Elder Bair, you're making the right decision.
All right. Awesome. Well, I got to tell you, I'm 100% there with you. I think this kid's got his head screwed on straight. Seems like his mom's stoked. Like, I mean, like
that's the look of success right there.
That's the look of Travis Kelce's mom sitting next to Taylor Swift right there, and it looks like dad there doesn't mind wearing the merch of his son. You know what I'm saying? So his dad's going to get some cool merch here. That is actually one of the coolest parts about having family in the NFL or in the NBA is you actually don't get as much merch as you think you would. Like I had buddies, I was an honorary ball boy for the Clippers for a couple of games. And I remember all the guys that were like the full timers saying like, yeah, it sucks. We literally get like 2 t-shirts a year. And if they get gross, we have to buy our own. You know what I'm saying? So you don't get as much merch as you'd think, but there are some pretty cool giveaways that are only for athletes. We also had season tickets next to the players' wives section at Dodger Stadium through my dad's company. And that was pretty nuts, dude. Seeing like who professional athletes' wives show up with is nuts. And we'd be sitting next to him. And I saw a guy, little aside right now, I saw a dude save like a 6 or 7 year old's life. I'm not kidding you. He showed up, and of course there's these gorgeous women. They're all gorgeous and exotic professional athlete wives. Like you're getting these dudes coming up from the DR being pitchers and, just full swatters and everything. You're getting these athletes coming from Japan. You're getting these athletes coming from all over the Midwest, anywhere. They've married gorgeous women that get to choose whatever athlete they want, right? And they're sitting like 5 feet away. And of course they have a bunch of kids and the kids are wearing the jerseys of their dads. And it's like, wow, that's like Williams's kids right there. That's kind of crazy, That's cool. And there we were in really nice loge seats. So when the lefties would come up to bat and they would shank, it would come up and we could catch the balls. I actually was able to put my hand on a couple of balls when we were at those games, right? And no joke, these kids were playing with some figurines and the wives have been to a million games and they're just chatting with each other and they're supporting their husband, but they're not paying attention to the game. Like somebody might tap them on the shoulder because one of the cameras is putting them up on the Megatron or something. But by and large, the kids got their cards, the kids got their figurines, the wives are talking with each other. Well, there was this guy who was obviously probably a professional athlete himself, who'd probably gone to support his friends. He was friends with his friend's wife and their kids were sitting there, right? And all of a sudden you hear this crack and there's this whiz and you see the ball just barely miss the net that protects the audience. It missed it by like 6 inches. And it was a fastball that this lefty had just barely shaved and missed. So it was coming, I'm not kidding you, like 90 miles per hour straight for the skull of this kid who's just playing. And you hear the audience just gasp. It's one of those things that you just heard, you just saw it happening in slow motion. Everybody's like, like that. And then the dude that was talking to the wife, all of a sudden he looks up and with just like cat-like reflexes, he sees it and you just see him go, he dives, like professional dive, barehanded jumps and catches the ball barehanded. Could you imagine trying to catch a ball that is traveling at the speed of a professional pitcher's fastball? And he just grabs it and catches it. And then you see him just go like, oh, and he shakes his hand. And then the kid looks up from his figurine and is kind of putting together what happened. And the guy just like tosses it to the kid, shakes his hand, and then goes back talking to the wife. Didn't even look around at anybody. It was the most based, like most alpha baller Chad thing on earth. The most epic athletic mic drop I ever saw in my entire life was this dude saving kids. If that would have hit that kid's temp out, lights out, like that. I mean,
that's rough. It could have killed the kid.
Could have killed the kid. Could have had life-altering traumatic brain injury. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, and he just swats that out of the air, takes it, shakes his hand, drops it in the kid's lap, and then like, oh, it was the coolest thing ever. That was one of the most amazing athletic achievements I ever saw live. Was not on the field. It was in the first loge at Dodger Stadium in Chavez Ravine, and it was probably second only to Kevin Garnett doing a windmill slam over me when I was a Clippers ball boy. That was pretty cool. Different story for a different day. But yeah, no joke, man. I got to tell you, I love what Bair's doing, and I think he's making. I think he's making the right choice, and I don't even know how we got here. So
you're right. That's how we end it. Bair, you're the man, Bair. Good idea.
Exactly. Awesome. So anyway, Bair, you're a stud. We fully support this. Bair's mom, you're a studette. We see you beaming from outer space. Bair's dad, I hope you get all the merch on earth. And you know what? Either before you leave on your mission, we'd love to do an interview with you, fly out here to the studio, pick your brain a little bit before you go, or maybe once you get back. You know what I'm saying? We'd love to talk to you once you get back. Either way, we'd love to have you in the studio. This has been real, and it's been fun, and it's been real fun. As always, for this and more, please check us out at wardradio.com.
This is gonna be the best day ever. This is gonna be the best day ever. Wake up, top of the morning. The bacon is crispy, the coffee is pouring. My meditation is peeling an orange. The bank says I'm already scoring. I got a parking spot right outside. Step into my brand new ride. All we ever get is green lights and blue skies. This is gonna be the best